Yo, what's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG Gift and a Gift. I just want to take the time to tell you thank you for giving me your eyes and your ears once again as we get ready to dive deep into a new topic today, which is actually a word that we're going to kind of transition to a little bit of inspiration for you kings and queens out there. And this was actually inspired, this video was actually inspired by a good friend of mine, Alex Garcia, owner of Alive Cubed. Hey, shout out to that organization. They're definitely doing good things as far as fitness and promoting people to become the greatest version of themselves. So shout out to them. Hey man, me and Alex, we had a little small convo, and the word perseverance came into the picture. Alex brought up perseverance. And perseverance is pretty much determination despite the difficulties or the delay of achieving a success that you set for yourself. And obviously I got to go with scripture a little bit on this, and this actual verse was kind of inspired and dwelled into my heart, you know, after I talked to Alex. And it's actually a particular scripture that's talking about Moses, which he's one of the paramount characters in the Old Testament. You know, he's responsible for the Torah, or the 5 books of the Bible. And this story that Paul was illustrating was found in Hebrews 11, verse 27. I'm going to read it to you guys. Paul says, "By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible." Saw him who is invisible. And what stands out to me in this, and I'm going to be illustrating fitness, life in general. He said, by faith, he left Egypt by not fearing the king's anger. Not fearing the king's anger. You know, Moses was with King Pharaoh for a very long time in his kingdom. You know, and God was calling Moses to go back and save his people, the Hebrews, the Israelites, excuse me. And, you know, Moses had a lot that was dwelling in his mind. You know, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. You know, he suffered with a little bit of self-doubt if he would be able to achieve what God wanted him to achieve. You know, I'm sure he thought about what he was going to leave. I mean, he was royalty, right? And when illustrating about the king's anger, you know, Moses left with faith, you know, that whatever he was wanting what God was wanting him to achieve, or the success that God wanted him to achieve, that he was going to obtain it regardless. You know, and he didn't care about what the king was thinking. You know, a lot of times in fitness and life, man, we can get caught up on what other people are thinking about us. And then what it does, it will affect our outcomes of us becoming a greater version of ourselves, right? You know, we can't let that happen. We can't worry about what other people think, you know, and a lot of times also we can see and emulate what other people are doing, and sit and look and say, man, I can't do that. That looks too hard. Look at that guy's body, or look at that girl's body. You know, I'm not going to be able to look like that. But what you got to understand is you got to take steps. Nothing happens overnight. You have to take baby steps with everything that you encounter in life. And that is a true fact, man. And Moses understood that. Regardless of how big that stage was, he moved by faith with God, that he had the ability through God to fulfill God's will. But anyways, perseverance, man. Let me know what you think about that. Stay up with GNG. More videos coming soon. Peace.